Hi there, my name is Lauren, and the organization that I chose to partner with this semester was Heat San Francisco, which is an advertising agency that was established in 2004. Some of the work that they have created has been for some award-winning companies, such as EA Sports. You may have seen some of their advertisement in the Winter X Games, and even applications through Zynga or Words with Friends, things like that. Throughout this analysis, it kind of became pretty clear to me that the organization had their ducks in a row as far as like their social media platforms go and things like that, but they could use a little bit of advice here and there on how to boost their current rankings, and reach out to a broader audience. So the first thing that I reviewed was a 90-day span for their current traffic and user behavior. And some additional talking points throughout this presentation will be towards the user experience, social media platforms, and paid search. So the data here shows the site traffic through organic search results that represented almost half of their visitor presence to the site, and then paid results were a close second. Session duration actually plays a really big part in how well an organization is doing online. So with that being said, I took a look at their average duration, and it was only at 1 minute and 30 seconds. Unfortunately, after taking a closer look at the year after year data, that time span has actually decreased. So that means that if it's not corrected, it definitely could result in a loss of clientele and actually may lead to competitive gains. Another thing that I took a look at too was the bounce rate for this website, as it kind of correlates between a disconnect between the client and the organization. And analysis actually showed that people are spending a little less than 10 seconds on the site before they're leaving. And additionally, the bounce rate actually fluctuated between desktop users and mobile users, with mobile search devices being, cell phones or tablets, that the audience is actually spending less time on the site using those. And that actually comes to my next observation for user experience. So while the websites showed that it was best optimized for desktop display, the content still is mobile friendly. However, load times for page content actually lag depending on the amount of information that's being displayed. So here you see that the first picture is actually the about page of the website. Great for mobile optimization. You see the image, you see the text, that's great. I went to go click on the news feed and I was actually brought to a blank page, which means that the time was lagging, things weren't coming as fast as they should be. So that's actually going to, deter me from actually being on that website. So I would actually recommend that simplifying content will help in providing the best optimization for mobile display. Given the restricted amount of screen space, it's kind of important to figure out the key pieces of information a visitor may be looking for when visiting the site. And additionally, making sure that when a visitor is using a mobile device to search and view the website, having a responsive design will help in increased rankings as well. Always test the site to make sure that they're working properly and optimized for the best results for users. And finally, prioritize the visible content. So here the pages required an additional network trip to render the above the fold content. So being able to reduce the amount of HTML will help in creating faster times for content within the site. Proper formatting and compressing images will also help in saving data and create a better user experience. I spent a lot of time on the site at the works and page, as well as the social pages of the main site, and that's where I figured that a lot of traffic would lead to when they search for the organization. Also, I spoke with my contact, and companies and the company's social media platforms were the places that she said customers were more likely to visit rather than the actual page, because they showcase the company's culture and their work. So I viewed a few of their platforms and came to the conclusion that they showed the same content, just in a little bit of a different manner. I feel like social media should help to expose the world to an organization and show what they're about. So I do have a couple recommendations regarding that. First here is their Facebook site. As you can see, just a couple clips here of their information. But that same information is listed on their Heat Twitter page, and then again, the exact same information is also on their LinkedIn page. So the first thing I wanted to address is being able to understand the needs of an audience. So posting on as many sites as possible doesn't always perform well. So review the target audience, set in place, and then post to the sites that contribute to those segments. Keeping the main platforms that he utilizes is actually okay, but defining the content posted to each is essential. LinkedIn should be used to network with a greater amount of prospective clients or new hires and showcase the business potential. And then sites like Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, which they also use, should be used to entertain the customers who wanted to know about the culture of the organization and advertising world. And they also want to know about, the work relationships and what the work holds. So also use social media as a grounds for viewing the competition. So take advantage of the ability to monitor similar agencies. They're going to lead to the ability of remaining visible in the market. Also compare your current goals to that of your competition. It'll help to refresh and set new goals to gain the audience or to gain the attention of your audience. Another recommendation that I had is to unionize the social media strategy. So take advantage of tools such as Hootsuite, TweetDeck, Social Mention. These are going to help to gain valuable feedback, neutralize any adverse information, and they'll also help in reclaiming a greater social presence. Using tools such as these will help to streamline social media activity with audience engagement as well. So speaking of engagement, I will say that social posts are pretty apparent in Google searches. So this means that the appropriate optimization, he's going to have, the ability to make first page results. That also means that it can then lead to increased followers, more engagement with their audiences, and then extend the visibility of the agency as well. Also, industry influencers are really active on social media. So using this to your advantage will help the business connect with greater audience presence and then gain greater attention. I also feel like word of mouth marketing is more effective than paid advertisements, and simple interactions such as creating discussion boards, sending a personal message, these sort of things can easily transpire into being seen and then creating larger and longer lasting relationships. Finally, today's marketing industry is very competitive, and analyzing the site's current SEO perspective, anything that the organization is able to do in order to stay ahead and get ahead of their competition is going to be an asset to them. I feel like an ideal way to keep in the audience's mind through advertising is like a pay-per-click. It can be extremely helpful in being able to see what the organization is doing that works and, what doesn't work. So these sort of advertisements can actually be created with already existing tools and software such as Google AdWords. They're easily measurable and able to track because the stats are readily available and show how the campaign is performing and what sort of traffic is actually being directed to the site. Paid advertisements work well for businesses when they're actually done correctly. So it avoids high pressure tactics. You're able to reach a broader audience. PPC ads are also paid for when the customer clicks on it only. So you can be considered low risk and deliver a high return on investment. And then, you can also can consider to be in control. So there's a lot of paid advertisement features that actually don't allow you to be in control of what's being shown, how often it's being shown, or the content that's provided. So PPC starts with keywords that you choose, and then you also have budget flexibility and the option to reach new audiences based on what you're willing to provide. The investment is well worth it and can be seen in the traffic results. And then the digital content can actually help to, intrigue the customers and incorporated through, some current photos and images and videos that are being shared through social media, and can even be captured on iPhones too. So it's not like there's a huge budget that needs to be involved in order to create something like this. Overall, I found that Heat uses tools and resources available to them for optimization of their website. However, the recommendations that I've had can help to gain a better source of customer traffic and better results as far as customer presence goes. So I do appreciate you taking the time to listen to this video. Thank you.